Hello, my dear little green friends, and this is the second part of my guide for hardcore teams on ladder reset to start the season. Let me check the stream is fine. Yes, it looks it's all fine with the stream. And let's continue. The second video will be about builds for main roles in the party, and how you could build it, and what options do you have. Of course, this is in my opinion, but I believe I have enough and a lot of experience and to give you my point of view about it. As I told you, the first and the main character, maybe one of the main character you need to have in party is the first teleport sorceress. The main goal for her is to teleport around the map and significantly decrease time to team to walk through the game. Of course, in this case, especially on hell difficulty, the teleport sorceress is the one of the players that get a lot of danger from the monsters, because maybe the most time she is in the monsters area, and she do not waiting, she always flying, and she could get in some trouble because of this. So you need it need be a very good and experienced player on this character. You not need also, especially on hardcore, because on softcore you can die, okay, you can quit the game and re-enter, grab the corpse and continue, for example. Here you can do that, and in this case you need to make your build correct, to do your main job, and to have your survivability. Also, you need correctly put your start points and correctly have the gear. It works and in the beginning of the game on the normal difficulty. It's especially important in the end when you enter the hell, because here you can die very fast, especially because you do not have a lot of start points at that moment. You have a low level, maybe near the 65. It is good if you have, or maybe even less. Maybe you could be level 59, for example. So let's talk about this first sorceress. So she have a few options how to make her build. Firstly, of course, she need to reach as fast as possible level 18 and get the teleport. But look here, mana cost 24. It's a lot. At that moment, even with some gear, sorcerers could do 3-4 teleports, maybe 5 teleports, and after this, her mana bubble is down, is empty. So, firstly, if you especially not a very experienced player on the teleport sorcerers, take in your mind this and know this. Before you make your build for the first sorcerers, you need to watch your real team, because depending on how your whole team is built, you really must, not you may, you must create your own build correct. Because, for example, if you do not have strong damage dealers in your party, and if there is no other sorceresses in your party, you need to level up your static field. because it helps greatly to fight bosses, and bosses are still, even on the normal difficulty, are dangerous ones. They could hit someone or with physical or elemental damage and make a kill. So with static field you kill them much more faster. So in this case such sorceresses need to have some level into static field. Of course, from the beginning, let's reload. What you should do: you may use the frozen armor as because it frees the enemy that attacks you. It gives you some time and some survivability. Especially you can feel it in maybe in the Act 3 when you teleporting through the jungle. Sometimes it really saves your lives. Of course, you put 1 point in the worms. One good option to put points in the beginning is a charged bolt, but note, maybe you can use it in the first, maybe in the second act, but later it becomes useless, so maybe it's better in maybe almost all situations to save some points until level 6. On level 6 you can take this points, the telekinesis. Do not need to put the point here just on level 6, but you need it to have a teleport. Sometimes you do not put any points here, you reach level 19, 18, and you see, oh, I do not have points in telekinesis, and you do not have teleport in that moment, because you need to put your point here, and only later you gain the teleport on next level. So do not make this a stupid mistake. Of course, you need the static field, and you really do not need it at all if you have the second sorceress in the team with static field, and if you have a good damage dealers. In that case, you can use your build even without static field. I recommend to use the Frost Nova because it have a long chill duration around, and it's also a good help to the team, a good control, and it also sometimes could save the life of the sorceresses. So 1 point in Frost Nova you must have. Until level 12, sorcerers do not have area damage at all. Ice Blast is pretty good, it's strong. Skill, it freezes its target, but it hits only one. It hits only one target. On level 19 also you have Glacial Spike. It freezes the group and hits the group, but it have much less damage than Ice Blast. So it do not feels like a good option. Also, you can use lightning and chain lightning, but this is a lot of option what you can use this sorceress before and even after level 19, but 18, excuse me. I do not feel that all these cold and lightning options are really good. If your sorceresses need some kind of damage, maybe the very good option is to use Fireball here. And also, if she uses that kind of skill, most other characters do not have fire damage in the end. For example, Druid maybe will do a respec if you have Druid, so maybe you will not have the Fire Druid in your party. Fire arrows from Amazon are not really strong. Assassin will respec. No any Holy Fire Paladin, but sorcerers can have this kind of damage for hell. She can use later the Meteor or Hydra, so this is the good option to have some damage on your character. especially if you why the fireball is good, pretty good damage, you no any casting delays, and you hit the targets, the enemy in that moment, then you spell cast this spell, because if, for example, even Blizzard have some delay, lightning spells like lightning and chain lightning have their own slower breakpoints, so and slower frames. So in this case, I do not really like them, but you can use it. Also, is an option if you want some damage on your teleport sorcerers to wait until level 24 and to hear the Blizzard. In this case, you need these options, these skills. You don't need to put many points in them. You can use Glacial Spike like some kind of control, because if you teleport in and some monsters surrounding you, you can freeze him and run away using the teleport, and on 24 you can take the Blizzard and have additional damage on your sorcerers. Of course, on level 30 you also do the Cold Mastery and play as you want. In some situation, when all team is packed very well, for example, you have the first sorceress, you have the second sorceress with static field, you have strong damage dealer, you have two paladins, for example, you don't need to put skills in static field, for example, you don't need to put any skills in your in any other damage. So in that case, you can level up your teleport. Why? Because it reduces the mana cost of teleport. So it helps you great. I recommend, as I believe in the middle of the Act 2 on normal, start to drop such potions as greater mana potions. They could refill very fast your mana bubble. So collect them, because you can buy it only in the fourth act from Jamala. So you will need it in the Act 3 when you teleporting through the jungles, because you can drink such a potion and fly very fast through the jungle. Because this is a very bad situation when you spend all your mana and you have a lot of small fetishes around you, and they all surround you, hit you, and if you do not have good breakpoints on faster hit recovery, maybe only the save and exit could save you in such situations. So in some situations, if you that's why I told you that you need a really good and experienced player on this character, because in some situation you need to have static field, for example, and you need to understand, okay, I will not have enough points here, or I will have only 1 point here in teleport, so I need extra mana, I need a lot of such potions like Great Mana Potion, and I need to teleport very careful and correct, and I need to watch always for my mana because of my last teleporting before I drink new potion. I must teleport in safe position to have some time to drink my potion, wait until mana goes up, and to continue my teleportation. Or, for example, you can see that your team, for example, have lightning damage and no other damages, so you decide you need a good strong damage of other type. Fire may be good, but better I will go to the Blizzard, for example. Or in different situation, you understand that team is not very mobile, and before you open teleport, the team start to enter the location. Monsters can do some troubles to you, so you understand, no, I must play using the fireball, for example. Or even different situation, you see, for example, you have cold damage, you have fire damage in your team, because, for example, you have druid who decided to play as a fire druid, you have sorcerers who go through using the cold skills, and you decide, okay, there is no other lightning skill players, so I will use such skills like lightning and chain lightning to help the team later. I can tell you about the energy shield. I do not recommend to use it during you pathing through the game, because you will not have a lot of mana anyway. Even if you find some good items and make some good and useful rune awards, and especially you need to max the telekinesis. If you calculate your skills, you will understand that you need pretty high levels, so first point into energy shield you could put, or better use it even from the item, not on your as your not as your own skill, to save some other points for such skill like charged ball, lightning, and chain lightning. You need to max your telekinesis, especially if you have other options here to use, like some blizzard or fireball, the fireball with Hydra. You will not have enough points in energy shield. Let's talk about some crucial items for these sorcerers. Firstly, you need to reach some breakpoints, so maybe first rings, amulets, or something like this, even with just 10 faster cast rate, you need to give to these first sorcerers. Because breakpoint 20, first breakpoint 8%, second 20, third 37%. Also, you must make the stealth rune award for this goal as fast as possible, because of speed of teleportation, because of faster hit recovery. Also, you can use for faster cast rate not only rings and amulets, also good options, the wand. You can buy it for near the 4 and with half thousands of gold from Akara. So if you see, if usually the sorceress is very busy, but if you, for example, selling some items periodically that you grab in the game to have gold, and if you see such wand from Akara, or if you find something like this, it also could be a magic or rare orb. Give this item to the sorceress, she would be very glad. Do not forget, not also, so on the normal you need to reach 37% breakpoint as fast as possible. Also is the way sometimes you're very unlucky with having the stealth armor, so you can use 2 rings, amulet, and the wand in that point, in that case, to have this breakpoint. It also works. In other case, you use stealth and 2 items with 10 faster cast rate. Also later, especially maybe from the Act 3 and especially in Act 4, sorcerers need resistances. So also it's an option to create her 3-socket shield with as high as you have diamonds, but maybe the best way here is to team or single sorcerers farm the countess. You can split for it some time, or sorceress can go for a while solo, farm counters to create Ral or Tal runes and make Ancient Splash rune words for her. This is also very useful, and if you have enough, especially fire resistance on sorcerers, you can walk through, you can teleport through the Act 3 of normal. But if you do not have enough fire resistances on this go, you need to create this rune word and ancient splash and use it because it's very dangerous in Act 3 and especially in Act 4, teleporting through all that locations with low resistances. Yes, and do not forget about hit recovery breakpoints. Items with hit recovery also very useful for this go. So. Also, in the end of the normal, you want to create first spirit rune word for this go. As I remember, if you have even 28% spirit, it's already very good, because later you want to achieve 63%, to achieve 105% during passing through the game. It's almost unreal without a huge lag, because you need some good items for this. The belt, the amulet, the gloves, the armor with faster cast rate, with just regular common items. But you need 63% cast rate breakpoint on your character. Better to have it already on Nightmare, and it's crucial for Hell. If you do not have this breakpoint for your sorceress on Hell, do not continue. Just make this rune word, and only after that you can go further. For example, if you use stealth, if you use 28% shield, sword, spirit sword, you need more 2 items and 10 FCR to have this breakpoint, or even 1. Let me 25 plus, yes, it's already 53, so or even 1 item is good. But even if you get the worst spirit sword as possible, it's already very huge, because it also gives you mana, it also gives you faster hit recovery. So this is the great rune word that you must create for your sorcerers in the end of the normal. So you look for runes, or maybe on the beginning of the normal, but not late, farming the counters. So you need runes Ral Ort, Tal Tool Ort Am. All that runes except Am you can. Tool is also pretty difficult to have from the countess, but 2 of these runes you surely can get from the countess and Cuban Rals, and you need to find Tal and Am. In this case, sometimes it could be useful to make Hellforge on normal, but usually we do not do this quest on normal, because this is not a huge chance to have a good rune, and this is the wasting of the time at that moment. You will not do it fast, pretty dangerous, and so on, you understand. Where to have the base for this, I will not tell you a lot of now, maybe, about how to create the spirit rune word. but you need to know you're looking for the broadsword, the crystal sword, and the longsword. Broadsword and longsword can have maximum 4 sockets, so if you find such items on the nightmare or even on hell, Larzuk will add you 4 sockets. Usually you want to find such a base, but if you find the base with too low item level, you will have only 3 points. In this case, this is some bugs in the game. From one point, if you found such an item in Act 4, it must already have 4 points, but as I understand, something happens with these item levels when they added treasure classes for terror zones in season 3 or season 4. So sometimes we have surprises here. So maybe it's better to, if you found, for example, in the outer steps broadsword or crystal swords, don't use it on Larzuk, because you can get not 4 but 3 sockets. Maybe if you found it on the River of Flame or Chaos Sanctuary, is already good. Also, do not use such swords from Bloody Foothill, first location of the 5th act. And also you must know, sometimes such items drop from the Baal waves. You must know that all the waves have different levels. It's very strange, but it works. So, as I remember, until level 4, wave 4, so that Pit Lords or Venom Lords, I do not remember, you also do not grab such items like long swords, I mean the white long swords, broadsword or crystal sword from the waves, because they will also have maximum 3 sockets on Larzuk. About longsword and broadsword, you can grab such swords from the nightmare, from the hell, after all that, after normal, as you want, but crystal sword can have up to 6 sockets. I do not really remember when it became a 5 sockets from Larzuk on the on white. On such white sword, so maybe just do not use crystal swords to socket from Larzuk if you have it on the higher levels. Also, yes, the secret cow level is the good option to have such a base. So if you do not rush too hard, you can farm even normal cows and found the base. Also note that you can use the ethereal bases. Sorcerers do not fight, and the durability will not expire if you just use this sword and just cast your spells. And also you can use even low level items. For example, you found on cow level damaged crystal sword. You also can bring this sword to Larzuk. It have enough level to have 4 sockets. Do not repair it, because when you repair it with a Haradric Cube Recipe, with Rune Ale, as I remember, chipped gem or something like this, or Rune Ale then chipped or flowed gem, there we have few recipes to repair damaged items into normal quality. They will have after this operation the item level 1, so such sword cannot have 4 sockets anymore. You understand? So you need to give this sorceress spirit sword as fast as possible, and before the usually it's enough resistances on her for nightmare. She also will have some items from the game. Still, all the team must give good items to first sorceress because she is in the most danger in the game. He meet a lot of monsters in the game, much more often than all other players, maybe even combined, because she flying through. Also, we have some options. We have some recipes in for Haradric Cube. You must have some level before Hell, and you must up your resistances before Hell. Yes, of course, you will do the Anya quest, so you will have 20 all resistances. You use the Ancient's Pledge. Sometimes you can have already at that moment the Smoke Rune Ward. It's an option, but do not forget about your breakpoints on faster cast rate. You can use antidote potions and saving potions to increase your resistances for some period of time for cold and for poison, but still you have problems with fire resistance and lightning resistance. You can found, for example, socketed helm and put there Ort and Rouse. And also it's the pretty cheap options because it needs only one such kind of the perfect game. Probably you will break the you will break the nightmare Hellforge to have Rune and some perfect gems. Maybe you already will found some perfect gems, and maybe you also found some game shrines. So you will see. You can see here. You can have garnet and coral rings with up to 30% of fire and lightning resistances. This is also an options. But remember, you need the rejuvenation potion and exploding potion. So if you found the exploding shrine, you can use it, grab one of few potions and save them to use for this recipe. Probably could be useful for you. Also, we have a recipe, but it's a bit difficulty. But it's a bit harder to have it because you need 6 different gems for it to create a prismatic amulet. Here you have the mistake. Prismatic, as I remember, can have up to 20%. Resist from 16 to 20%. Also, all these rings and amulet can have not only prefix, also it can have the suffix. So in some kind you can be very lucky if you get something like prismatic of apprentice, for example, with faster cast rate, coral or garnet ring of apprentice. So it could be very good at that moment. It works not only for sorcerers, but for sorcerers you need to boost your resistances because it's really dangerous to teleport through hell without resistances. Sometimes at that moment in some builds you can already have telekinesis if you have good battle orders from barbarian and some items that give you enough enough mana. You can use also energy shield here. It's also an option, but you must understand that if you would be surrounded, guys will hit you, and you will not have enough mana even for teleportation from this danger. So just know this. But for general, for survival, such option is possible. Okay, I told you now about the sorceress. Maybe I told it's the most part of information because, as I told you, this is the maybe the hardest character for the team during the walking through the game in the beginning. Now let's talk about second role, damage dealer. I tell you a bit about it already, but let's speak about it fast. I do not talk about weird and strange and stupid builds, especially stupid for the beginning of the ladder for assessing. Now, when you're trying to use some weird skills like blades or martial arts or other, your goal in the beginning is to use from the beginning. You use Fire Blast, skill from Akara you put in Clav Mastery, for example, on level 6, you take the Burst of Speed. You can put here few points from 3 to 4. You can see how it good, how many, and so it will be like this on level 12. You put point into the Wake of Fire and continue to max it. So almost always you need to max only this level. When you get some point from the additional point from the Radament, you can put it point here, or you can put this point here, and when you got extra points from the Isual, you can do this. Usually on normal you don't need Fate. You can put additional point in Fate only on level, maybe not on level, maybe when you go to Hell, for example. I recommend to have Cloak of Shadows before you go to the Chaos Sanctuary, because it could be a huge help for the team and for your character. And after you max Wake of Fire, you continue to max Fire Blast. You can put additional point here, you can even put 1 point there, but now your main 2 damaging skills is the Wake of Fire and Fire Blast. Let's see, if we have such a build, we need level 41. Maybe you will have this level before, even before you reach the Nightmare Chaos Sanctuary, so maybe even you will have some extra points. Do not use such things like Venom, Shadow Master, Clav Mastery. A good boost for her is to use, and if really only one at that moment, strong damage dealer in team, maybe it's a good option to have Leaf Tier Ral, Rune Ward on the Assassin on the 5th act or 4th act. 4th act, yes, when you go to the Pandemonium Fortress, it also increase your fire damage. So when you reach the Nightmare, it is time on Mephisto, or maybe later, but when you go into the 4th act, again in the Pandemonium Fortress, here you will meet a lot of fire immunes, so this girl need to respect. What you need to do about Assassin? The speed of Lion Traps depends not on the cast speed, so she do not need so bad items with faster cast rate as Sorceress, but she need items with good attack speed. For example, from the beginning, usually assassin, when she start to use not the basic attack but her traps, he just took the dogger, yes, the easiest and simplest weapon with the fastest attack speed, and just to throw her bombs and put her wake of fires as fast as possible. Also, she used a burst of speed to do it faster, and burst of speed also works to. She will run maybe faster than other guys at that moment. So before level 18 for sorcerers, the most mobile character in the party is the assassin. Okay, about the other equipment, also it's good to have stealth on her. Also, it's good to have resistances on her. Maybe when you go to the nightmare, you also create the Ancient's Pledge Rune Awards, so you defend, so you rescue barbarians from the second quest of Act 5 and get your runes, and all you need at that moment, the 3-socket shields. Kite shield is better because it's light shield and it do not slows you. The light shield, the big round yellow shield, you know, it's the medium weight, so it slows you up to 5 total % of your speed, but it requires less straight. Also, it is good to have the spirit for her at the moment she respects. How do she respects? The what you need, except your. This is also the traps build. You need to put some points here. In the case you have already. Maybe you already have a spirit, you don't need to put a lot of points into the burst of speed. 1, maybe 2 maximum is enough. You can put point here, and you can put, and I recommend put some points here in Cloak of Shadows and into the Mind Blast. And the next main your attacking skill is the Lightning Sentry, so you boost your Lightning Sentry as much as possible. Next, you add, you work with synergies. Also, you can put 1 point into the Death Sentry, but if team have enough damage, this is not really necessary. And also, if you have the Barbarian, Horkin Barbarian, your team, also I recommend not to put anything here. Look, Shockwave, Charged Bolt, Sentry. Yes, only 2 synergies we have. If you play not solo but in a good team, you don't need the Fire Blast. Note that Fire Blast also have the synergies from Shockwave and Charged Bolt Sentry, and even from the Lightning Sentry. So if you level it up, it gains a much better damage than it has from the beginning, and in some options it's a good way to achieve on assassin the second type of damage. First kind of damage, she has a lightning damage, and it's most of her the best of her damage, and later, and in this case you don't need to put extra points in some synergy, for example here, to have better damage here. But usually if you playing as the damage dealer in a good team, you just put maximum points into the synergy to the Lightning Sentry. As you see, even without any items here, you have already pretty good damage. You can also put point into the Death Sentry, you can put some points into Fire Blast. all other variations are already for the builds, for farming builds. For example, if you want to farm calves, or if you even, I do not recommend to do on the traps assassin, but you can try also deal with Nilathak. In all these cases, you need the death sentry with with some points there. But maybe you will put all other points here. If you will farm solo for items, for example, you will put additional items here to have some extra damage and have different damage of a different kind. Also, do not forget that you can, if it's a lot of monsters and it's necessary, you can mind blast a huge pack of monsters. Even from the single mind blast, you can have a few converted monsters there. And after that, you can Cloak of Shadows. Also, do not forget how it works. You do not you do not have visible casting delay on this spell, but you can't recast it before the previous Cloak of Shadows expires. So also note this. Sometimes you, especially if you have some points in the skill later for different builds, sometimes you cast this one in one place, you move forward, the duration of previous Cloak of Shadows do not still expires, and you can't recast this spell again. Or you can't recast it to increase the duration, you know, like you can do, like Necromancer can do with his curses. You need to wait until previous Cloak of Shadows expires. So this is the build. I believe with that build you can finish, with such kind of build you can finish the Hell, and also level up on Chaos Sanctuary with your team. And I believe for damage dealing, the Assassin is the best option. Later you can respect and build you want, or make some fixes for this build to, for example, Assassin is also a very good cav farming character, so you need to put some points into the sentry, for example, during leveling up on the Chaos Sanctuary. Okay, about items also I told you. Ancient Splash Spirit is very good. It's a good options for her, because Assassin do not need Spirit as fast as Sorcerers. So they are not so you can make it, for example, for sorcerers in the end of the normal or in the beginning of the nightmare, and you can create second spirit if you have all needed ingredients in the middle of the nightmare, for example, for the assassin. If she steals your main damage dealer, for example, but usually at that moment it's already their own job for each other person in the team. So Spirit, Ancient Splash, and also you can use later such recipes, and as this you can find or even buy three-socket helm or from the Charcy on Hell. You can, but as I remember, you need to have like level 65 or 67 for this, but it's not hard to have it on the Nightmare battle runs. And also you can find a good belt. You can create amulet or rings to have resistances you need. And also assassin have a fade, so absence of resistances is not such a big deal for assassin as for sorceress. Let's talk about druid. As I told you, the fissure is the main damaging skill for druid in the beginning. But before you reach this one, you need to put some points maybe into the firestorm. You don't need shape-shifting 3 at that moment. I do not recommend to use your points here on creepers or on the other beasts. Sometimes some druids do such things. It works maybe for first act of the normal a bit. It works a bit for the second act, but later I believe without specification all this became useless. Of course you put 1 or maybe even more points here. It's only level 6 you need, so it's a good boost for team before level 24 until the barbarian got their battle orders. So for some time you put points into the firestorm. When you reach level 12 you put all points into the fissure and you max it as possible. Extra points you can put into synergies. Firestorm and Volcano are synergies. You can see. Sometimes you do not put extra points into the firestorms. No, mana cost 4, it do not increases its mana cost. So extra points you also can put in Oak Sage, for example, to increase its life, its radius and max lives that it gives to the party members. So you also can do this. And you continue to this is molten, excuse me. Yes, so only the at that moment only the synergies firestorm. Later you even can put some points into volcano and do as you want, you know. Maybe on the normal such fire druid is even stronger a bit than assassin, but note that elemental skills is the cast, so this guy needs some faster cast rate items to cast his spells faster. But also know that many his spells also have the casting delay, so 50-50, you understand. What to do with druid after you reach the middle of the game and you kill the Mephisto on Nightmare and go to fourth act? Here you maybe have some options. Probably sometimes you can respect first option. You can continue with your fire skills, and if no any other fire damaging characters in your party, this is an option. Also it's good because some of such skills like Molten Boulder, like Volcano and like Armageddon, they also have the physical component of the damage, so it's not so bad. And you can continue with this. You can also boost your Oak Sage and continue with the caster Elemental Fire Druid is an option, especially if no other sources of fire damage and you need different types of damage in your party. This is an option. You can respect into the Wind Druid. It gives you physical and cold damage. I do not recommend some kind of hybrid builds with elemental shape shifting, just because when you turn into wolf or into the bear, you can't cast most of your skills, so it's almost useless to have elemental skills if you shape shifting. Third options is to go to the bear form to have shockwave. I really do not use this build at all, so I do not have experience about and can't make you any advices how to create this build for Druid. Maybe if you have such experience, you can use it. If you do not have, just find information about it or try it yourself or just do not use it. Why guys uses the shockwave here? Because this is maybe the most powerful control skill for mobs in the game, because it can control, as I remember, even ancients. So they are stunned, so you can safely damage them from the range, or your summons can damage them from the range, and you can be calm about this. Also, of course, it's good to max your Orc Sage in any build here, because after the middle of the game, after the Nightmare Mephisto, your character became not so good damage dealer, but he mostly became the support hero. Third row, as I told you, the full support barbarian. I can tell you the best way in good team that I think you should play the barbarian. In the beginning, you can found for yourself two scepters, for example, from Akara. This is like the paladin weapon, but with lowest requirements and the most damage weapon at that moment, so it's good to use it. So you can, because this scepter is a mace, you can put 1 point here, and you can put even few points there. If I saw that we have enough damage in my team, I will not do it. If I saw that we do not have enough damage in my team, maybe I will. So let's imagine I do not do this. What I should to do? Maybe first points I put in found potion, no any points in masteries. Maybe I put 1 point into the howl. I can save some points before the level 6, because on level 6 we have a leap, and from that moment it becomes maybe I will put most of my points there. And also I put some points here in found potion. Why? Because when we are on location, I can find potions from the corpses, and my team do not need to return to town and buy it from the Akara, for example. Bad thing about this, because of some at that moment we split, for example, first sorceress can group with the paladin, for example, and they will go to the countess to level up, for example, and they need to go home anyway. But the part of the party where the barbarian is, he still can do this. He can hork not the find item, but find potion at that moment. And this is pretty good. On level 6 you took the leap, because this is the good control from the barbarian. And also, but this is optional, you can put already 1 point into the shout at that moment. It increases defense, but not such a long period. But I believe this is good even at that moment, because it increases some survivability of your party. So let's calculate 3, 4. Yes, maybe at level 6 you will have something like this. Later you can put some points here until you reach some good range of leaping, and maybe up to level 5 you can put some points here. For example, at level 12 you can do this. Put point into the find item. Anyway, before level 24 you don't have something really great for your great skills for your barbarian and for your team. So already at that moment you can split your skills between some. Oh, excuse me, 1 second. Excuse me, some noisy neighbors. So let's return to our barbarian. So until level 24 you can split your skill points among these skills. You can put some points here, for example 9 maybe, or even more. Other points you can put here. For example, before level on level 23 your character build can look like this, or maybe like this. Yes, on level 24 you put 1 point here, 1 point here, and after that you continue to boost battle orders only. On level 30 I believe you already will have extra point. You will put it in battle command. It also the synergy to battle orders and gives +1 skill to hold the team. If you still doing the battle runs at that moment and you do not have extra point battle command, maybe you can put everything in battle orders, because it gives you more benefits, I believe, in this case. But you must see already you have not such a bad chance even to hork. So in this case, what items could the barbarian use? If he do not use any items for damage dealing, and he do not need the damaging weapons or caster weapons, he could put on as much items with magic find as it possible. For example, of course, he need also resistances. So this option with ancient pledge, with stealth armor, even with other items that gives him resistances, is also works here, and even the spirit sword could be very useful for him, because it boosts the battle orders he casted faster, it boosts all his other skills, it boosts his mana and so on and so on, but maybe Barbarian needs the Spirit Sword in the last order in this case among other party members. We do not talk about the Paladin for now already. So from that moment you put most of the skills here, you put 1 point here, and you max your battle orders. At that moment maybe is the best things you can you must do. Also you put or some points here. Usually you don't need to put more than 5 points here, and if you later will have some items with plus skills of plus barbarian skills, it also increases your resistances, so this is not bad. Also, as an option for him to have the Rhyme Shield, Shail Edh, to have some additional, for example, it gives you 25% of magic find, so it's also good. After maxing battle orders, you can max, for example, battle command, because this is the synergy, and also you can put some extra points in find item and find potion, maybe in resistances, sometime into leap and sometime into howl, to make your barbarian full support. And I recommend to use as much as possible magic find on this hero. I believe, of course, he is very important during the game to give battle orders, especially for the first sorcerers. But let's see what we can have here. Do not remember exactly, but as I remember, at level 60 or 70, yes, from level 17 of his own, yes, it's better to max find potions. Okay, of course this is not the some kind of farming build, but this build, if your team is really serious and you will continue with chaos farming after you kill the Bale, so it will be not the half of an hour, not the just an hour of running Chaos Sanctuary, maybe it will be the hours of running Chaos Sanctuary after you finish the game. This barb can be very useful here. With not such a huge level, you can see he already have a huge chance to find item, with also he boost good team with battle orders. He have some control. At that moment he already can have some items like Spirit Sword, or even 2 Spirit Swords, and Lore Helm or something like this with plus 2 skills, but maybe it's better to have 3 socket helm with 3 topazes or something like this, and he could run after the team and hork everything he can found there, and it will increase significantly the chance to find something very valuable for team or for selling and earn more money for team. Note, this is some discussions about how good the find item and this 60 or more percent that Barbarian could have here. For example, if I max this skill, and maybe if I max this skill, and if I have some usually professional builds you do not max find item, because with items with plus skills it's already good to have like level 18 on this skill or something like this, or even less from the moment you get you have only one, as you can see. on this level 16 you already got only 1% per skill level, you see. So even from that moment when you start to gain 1% for the skill level, you're starting to max find potion, not the find item. So the reason is why I believe this works much better, really, because on regular drop, when you just kill the monster, there is a non-drop chance that calculates firstly, and after that you have the chance to drop some other goods like gold and other items, potions and other items. And here you have the chance to find the items. So there is no drop chance in these calculations, just chance to find the item. So I believe these percents that we saw here now, that we see here now, is much better than we thought, because we can feel like I have 66% chance to found something compared to the regular drop, but we do not take in account that in regular drop you have the non-drop chance. As I believe, we have no non-drop chance when we horking the body. So probably good find item really doubles the drop from the monsters, not just increase it like here for 66% chance to find something. So I believe this is the best options to play Barbarian in the good team, because you have good support for your team all the time. You with Leap you have some mobility, you can control the monsters sleeping around them, but if you want to control the group of monsters, just do not make the long leaps, just leap on the same place. So it will be many leaps and all monsters will be stunned. Also, you can use Howl in some situation when it's really necessary. You can find a lot of potions for the team, especially it also works with rejuvenation potions, so that it's very good for the hell difficulty. And with find item you boost significantly the drop of your team. So it's also, especially if you really will do the House Sanctuary runs. Okay, now let's talk about Paladins. As I recommend, the 4th and the 5th place in the team must be the Paladins. And also I do not recommend play any physical damage or even Holy Fire. Holy Fire could be not good, it's a good variation if you play in solo. Or if you play with random guys and it's a bad party that you see, the all guys are noobs and playing on their own way and doing something strange things, you understand. So in that options you can use the Holy Fire, use the resistance. If we play in good team, maybe the best options here to use the tree of Holy Bolt. What you doing in the beginning? You could put 1 point into the prayer, you can put 1 point into the might, maybe firstly you put it into the might, while you team use the physical damage and clearing the den of evil. Then you need to use Holy not the Holy Fire also is very good to resist fire aura. Sometimes a bit late it works, maybe from such locations like Tamoy Highland, when you start to meet the skeleton mages or something like this, it's good for Paladin to turn on his resist fire aura to protect his team. Also, you can put point into the smite just because you don't need many points to use. Next, you put something into the holy. You will not use sacrifice or zeal. You can use smite other way. So after you reach the level 6, you put maybe all your points into the holy bolt because you don't need nothing special at that moment. On level 12, I recommend to put 1 point in this aura. Why? It could be very useful because later in Act 2 you will meet a lot of bugs. These bugs beetles, I mean, they could spawn in the open area. Also, they can spawn in different creeps, tombs, and other locations. And here, or for example, in Maggot layer, their charged bolts could be really deadly, and most of your party, especially if you running through the game pretty fast, will not have a lot of resistances. So in this case, Paladin will save them. But note, the Holy Bolt will deal damage only for demons and undeads, not for animals or beasts. So such monsters as spiders, beetles and other such creatures will not have any damage from the Holy Bolt. This is the negative part of that build, because this build needs someone to cover him. But as I told you before, if you have good damage dealer in your team at that moment, it's already good to have good Holy Bolt on your Paladin. Let me think a bit. Yes. And know that in many locations you have only the demons and the undeads. You will not hear any animals. For example, quite often the sorceress and the first teleport sorceress and the one of the paladins with the holy bull just go to the tower, Countess Tower, to level up there, while other team are walking through the game. What's next? Of course, near to the level, what is special? You can also sometimes use the cleansing aura from offensive auras. Maybe in for the single paladin in party, maybe you don't need to use anything else except the might aura, but put any points except the might aura in the beginning. But even if you understand that you will not use conviction ever, you even could save this point in the beginning. This is not the hammer build. Yes, I forgot. On level 12 you also could put 1 point in charge, because yes, it cost not cheap in mana, 9 mana for paladin. It's not cheap, but he could run very fast with while he charging, so he don't need a target like the monster to charge, and so it's some kind of teleporting here. So paladin could be, it's not free because it cost of mana, but he could run pretty fast with charge. Yes, yes, yes. On level 30, you need to have Feast of Heavens, maybe. Put 1 point in Salvation. You can put 1 point in Holy Shield. I believe it not gives you a lot, but still it boosts your defense and successful blocking. Probably it helps. So you decide to put this point here or put it in something much more valuable at that moment. Sometimes even paladins put some points into the vigor. I do not think this is a good idea. So after reaching the level 30, you need to increase your put points into the Feast of Heaven. It makes the paladin at that moment a really good damage dealer, because the most damage from the Feast of Heavens dealing the holy bolts to nearby demons and undeads. So probably you should use this Feast of Heavens and holy bolt combination. So as you can see, only level near the level less than 50, and you already have to probably already have these two synergies maxed. You see. Also, it's an option for the paladin to use the blessed hammer, but I believe it's good if you if no other damage dealers in the team, you know that you will have the second spirit after the first sorceress and some other conditions. It's much more universal because it can damage any monster in the game except the magic resistances monsters. It usually appears only on the hell difficulty, but still, you know, this is it has a good damage already on level 80. But I believe Holy Bolt and Fist of Heaven combination could be much better. After reaching this, you can boost your Holy Shield, or even you can try put some, as you see, because of extra skills from the quests, it's not so hard to put extra points into conviction. Yes, so if you are this only one paladin in the group, you can boost conviction here. Yes, to help your team, for example, especially on the, so let's see, level 67, not really small level, but as you see, at that level already you can have conviction with level 20, for example. You can do it if you only one single paladin in the group. If you have a second paladin in the group, you can, for example, add some extra points here to give your party additional resistances, and you can boost your holy shield as much as possible to already increase your survivability, and don't use any offensive hours at all. And you can make a respec and do not use any points into the skills you don't need at all. About skills, yes, maybe the paladin, if you do not have the only damage dealer like fire druid in your party, maybe the paladin is the second one guy who needs items with faster cast rate front, so extra items with faster cast rate you need to give to him. Also, maybe he is the second in the row in such situations to have the stealth armor even before the assassin, because the assassin already have some good features like burst of speed at that moment, so she don't need extra speed. And the increased attack speed works like the faster cast rate for the paladin, so maybe the paladin must take the second stealth armor. Also paladin have his own shields, class specific. On the normal you will not find more than 10% plus to all resistances like automod on such shields. You can find 2 or 3 sockets on the normal, and you can create the ancient pledge or rhyme rune word in such shields, so it's not bad options for paladin. Of course, later he need also the spirit sword, but I believe if we have the assassin, second spirit must be hers. If we have druids, or we do not have even assassin or druid, second spirit must belong to that paladin, because it greatly increases his help to the team, like Holy Bolt and like Fist of the Heavens. Okay, if you have 2 paladins, they could use almost the same builds. For example, one of them could use could give team the, yes, both of them use the Holy Bolt, and both of them start to use Fist of Heavens later. You know, all these pass-through skills you will have from the extra skills. Both of them need the Holy Shield and these 3. The difference between them is one of them can give the resistances to the party, other one can give them might. And later, for example, later he can took thorns. Later he can took something like Holy Freeze as his always turn it on aura, and later go to the conviction. And even before he start to put some points there, for example, he could put most of the points here, you see. And maybe in this case, this guy need more points into the Holy Shield, because Paladin with Conviction, because of the limited range of the Conviction, need to be closer to the monsters to affect the aura on them. So maybe I recommend to use Rhyme Shield on him, because of increased chance of blocking, and use some extra points to Holy Shield here to have better blocking and better survivability, and even you may not put extra points here, you see. So you maybe in this build you will put your points into Conviction and all extra points into the whole Holy Shield, or even more points in Holy Shield and only after that into Conviction. And only after that you can already Holy Bolt will give a good healing and a good and a good damage against demons, especially on normal, so this is not a big deal. Also is an option for one of these paladins to put some extra points into prayer, because it increased significantly healing. So if you have some front line in your party, or you see that some of your party members quite often is reached by the monsters and they deal damage to your party members, so you can put extra points also in prayer, because this is the synergy to Holy Ball to increase the healing from the Holy Ball. You see, this is for the second paladin in the party. Okay. And only after that you can put some points into the Fist of Heaven. As you see, it significantly increases the damage of the Holy Bolt, and also it's already have the synergy from the Holy Bolt on the Fist of Heaven. So it also be a huge against demons and undeads. Okay, this is the minimum party pack. As I told you in previous video, necromancers maybe really is not so useful guy in the team, because mostly he is a leecher, because she just walking with the party, do not give a lot of to the party, but it depends on how you playing. As you see, you can have extra if you have already one assassin. You can have extra druid. Maybe you will decide. We already speak about him. Maybe he will play it like some kind of support from the beginning, so he could play the summoning druid, for example. In this case, from the beginning. I don't think he need to use the shockwaves and shapeshift in this case, because we already have barbarian with some control, and if we have the assassin with the cloak of shadows and mind blast, I believe this is enough control in the game. I believe the Amazon is very good in the team. So if I create a party as I want, so it would be first sorceress, second assassin, third barbarian, and fourth and fifth the paladin. Maybe sixth I put the one extra sorceress. I will not talk now about how you need to create your sorceress. I can only say that Nova sorceress on Hell on hardcore is possible, but I do not really recommend it. Also, I do not really like the lightning because of different breakpoints on faster cast rate, because it needs a lot of synergy. So usually it's not so easy to use even energy shield on lightning. On lightning builds, and also because the huge difference between low damage and maximum damage for the lightning. As I understand the mechanics, if lightning hits directly to the target, it makes the near the maximum damage, and if it comes near the target, it could makes like the minimum damage. But still, this is a bit strange. So most guys use the Nova sorceress if they want the if they want to have lightning damage sorceress. But I believe it's also options the fire or the cold sorceress to use here. You can use sorceress like Frozen Orb with energy shield. This is a lot of builds. I do not want to talk a lot about it. You just this girl just have to decide what build to play and what team needs, what he wants, and what the team needs. I believe it's good to have the second sorceress in the game, because the first sorceress is on the most danger. If you lose her, all your run is under all your run is in danger, because especially if it happens in the beginning of the hell, in the middle of the hell, it could be very difficult without real teleporting to finish the game. And if you have the second sorceress, it's a good option, even if you lose your first sorceress. Of course, it's better not to lose her, but sometimes shit happens, you know. And if she is the sixth character in the party, I believe seventh must be the Amazon. Because she is pretty tanky, she will have good damage after level 30. So really, she, as by my experience, she increases very good speed of running through the nightmare, especially of the nightmare, and also she is a good damage dealer on the hell, especially if you do not have any other sources of lightning damage. For example, if you do not have the assassin in your team. Also, she have the passive skills like dodge, evade, avoid. Also, decoy could be very useful. Also, of course, she use penetration with lightning fury and charged bolt as the single target damaging skill. How to play, I believe you will understand by yourself. Sometimes you can play until level 80 some kind of shit, you know, even running with bows, because until the charged bolt, Amazon do not deal really good damage. You can use the plague, poison, javelin, or something like this. But she is pretty tanky because of she has a lot of life. She has her own defensive skills. She could use the block on the shield. And also very strong. Sometimes could be the slow missile spell. Her spell. But I do not really know how it combines with, do it counts like some kind of curse? So, for example, if I use slow missiles and assassin use the cloak of shadows, how it works together, or barbarian use the howl. As I remember, they all dismiss each other, so sometimes it could be useful, sometimes this is not. But I believe the Amazon is very good, really, in the party, because she could help party a lot in some situations. And after getting the lightning fury, she became a really good damage dealer. Only lightning damage dealer, but still, this is I can tell you this is very good. The eighth party member could be different. I do not believe you need the second Amazon, and maybe I do not believe you need the second assassin. It could be even necromancer. It could be third sorceress. It could be druid. If you don't have anyone, for example, it could be even the second barbarian if you're scared to lose your first barbarian. So this is the for eighth member of your party. You can choose a lot of options. So it could be sorceress, it could be even paladin, it could be necromancer, it could be druid or barbarian. If you don't have druids, maybe it's good to have the druid because of his oak sage to boost your team life in that situations, because you already have paladins, you already have two sorcerers, for example, you have something like Amazon. So I believe this is the first sorceress, second assassin, third barbarian, 4, 5 paladin, 6 sorceress, 7 amazon, 8 druid, for example. Such team, I believe, is the best team, maybe, that I can imagine for myself. Okay, guys. This is the end with this video. Maybe I continue with locations and some advices how better where to get some items and how to better walk through some locations in the game. Okay.